Good afternoon, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, we give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. Acknowledge Yahweh Shai. I pray that the Most High blesses this lesson today and gives us more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past in order to understand the events that are currently taking place, in order to get even a much better understanding of our soon restoration as the chosen people of the Most High. Today, I'm going to bring out some blockbuster information that the Most High blessed me with. I just really can't believe how quickly the Most High is moving. And when you see the information that he gave me today, I think you're going to be awestruck as well. I couldn't wait to get home today from work to make this video and give the family this information. Today, we're going to be talking about the Ark of the Covenant and how the Ark of the Covenant, any army that wielded the Ark of the Covenant was invincible, and how you read about the stories and the scriptures showing how the Ark laid waste, destroyed everything in its path, and was a symbol of power and our power here in our lands. And after the split and the southern kingdom went into the Babylonian captivity, the Ark was lost, or so we've been taught, that the Ark was lost. I'm going to show you that the Ark wasn't lost yet at that time. Think about it. The Most High moved the northern kingdom over to the Americas. The southern kingdom was predominantly the one that was left to go through the Babylonian captivity, Persians and Mede captivity of the Greeks, and the Roman Empire. After they were taken to the Babylonian captivity, they came back under the Persians and Medes and rebuilt the temple. But there was no information about the Ark being in the temple ever again. Now we hear about the 10 lost tribes. One of those tribes would have been the Levites, right? The priests. Maybe there were still some Levites over with the southern kingdom, but maybe some of them also came over here with the northern kingdom. Who were the ones that were in charge of the Ark? The Levites. So would it be a possibility that the Ark of the Covenant was brought over here to the Americas? If there was I wonder if there was any information anywhere that talked about the Levites having the Ark of the Covenant over here in the Americas. You don't think that they had written that information down, and as soon as the Spanish got here, burned all these records. They burned all these records so that they could make up their own history of what our people were doing over here when they were never here. Let's try to piece this puzzle together, family. This is what I found real quick off of Wikipedia to give a little bit of background information. The biblical account relates that approximately 1 year after the Israelites' exodus from Egypt, the Ark was created according to the pattern given to Moses by the Most High. When the Israelites were encamped at the foot of biblical Mount Sinai, Thereafter, the gold-plated acacia chest was carried by its staves while en route by the Levites, approximately 2,000 cubits, approximately 800 meters or 2,600 feet in advance of the people, when on the march or before the Israelite army. The host of fighting men. When carried, the ark was always hidden under a large veil made of skins and blue cloth, always carefully concealed, even from the eyes of the priests and the Levites who carried it. The Most High was said to have spoken with Moses from between the two cherubim on the ark's cover. When at rest, the tabernacle was set up, and the holy ark was placed in it under the veil of the covering, the staves of it crossing the middle sidebars to hold it up off the ground. The main thing I wanted you guys to take a look at was the fact that the ark of the covenant went before the people and went before the armies into battle, pretty much pronouncing, who our power is, announcing that to anyone, in our way, announcing that the Most High was with this people. Just like I talked about with the book of Judith, how if we were on good terms with our power, that no one could do us harm. No one could take us down. But if we were not following the Most High, that's when the other nations could have their way with us. And if you look in the Southern Kingdom, when they went into slavery and they lost the covenant, or the Ark of the Covenant, they went in and out of captivities again and again and again. They went to that captivity with the Babylonians, Persians and Medes, Greeks and Romans. And they did not have the Ark of the Covenant anymore. And like I said, this Ark of the Covenant was supposed to be in front of the people, so people would know that they were coming, announcing, our power to the world, anyone in front of us. And when we had this ark, the army, our people were untouchable. Now, take a look at here at Joshua 3:3. And they commanded the people, saying, when ye see the ark of the covenant of the Most High, your power, and the priests, the Levites, bearing it, then ye shall remove from your place and go after it. So they're supposed to follow the priests and the ark, okay? Yet there shall be a space between you and it, about 2,000 cubits by measure. Come not near unto it, that ye may know the way by which ye must go. For ye have not passed this way before. And Joshua said unto the people, sanctify yourselves, for tomorrow the Most High will do wonders among you. And Joshua spake unto the priests, saying, take up the ark of the covenant, and pass over before the people. And they took up the ark of the covenant, and went before the people. And the Most High said unto Joshua, this day will I begin to magnify thee in the sight of all Israel, that they may know that, as I was with Moses, so I will be with thee. And thou shalt command the priests that bear the ark of the covenant, saying, when ye are come to the brink of the water of Jordan, ye shall stand still in Jordan. And Joshua said unto the children of Israel, come hither, and hear the words of the Most High, your power. And Joshua said, hereby ye shall know that the living power is among you, and that he will without fail drive out from before you the Canaanites, the Hittites, and the Hivites, and the Perizzites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Jebusites. Behold, the ark of the covenant of the Lord of all the earth passeth over before you into Jordan. Like I said, the Most High used the ark, the covenant, the ark of the covenant, to make pronouncements of the judgment of others, the restoration of his people. And we're going to learn something about this today. Now remember, all these puzzle pieces are starting to come together rather quickly. Remember now, in Christopher Columbus's Book of Prophecies, it discussed one of the goals of him coming over to these lands was to let me find it here, for the recuperation of the holy city and of the mountain of the Most High, Zion. That was one of the pronouncements that he was coming over here to do. Right? Let me read it again. Let me read page 20 of Christopher Columbus's Book of Prophecies. I'm just going to read the last paragraph on page 20. The complete title in Latin on the reverse side of folio 1 reads, book here, the manuscript is unreadable because of the extensive damage to this leaf. Authoritative quotations saying pronouncements and prophecies concerning the recuperation of the holy city and of the mount of God, Zion. They were coming over here to take the lands of the Most High. Now, he was led over here by the Holy Spirit. Now go back over there when all 12 tribes were together. And the Most High moved the 10 tribes over here. Would it be a good possibility that since the Southern Kingdom was going to be going into all these in and out of these captivities, that the Most High would have had them bring the Ark of the Covenant over here and use it for whatever it is they needed to? Remember, they were being sent over here to follow the ways of the Most High. So wouldn't it make sense for them to actually bring the Ark of the Covenant over here? So you keep hearing Gentiles say, well, we don't know where it's at. We don't know where it's at. We have no idea. We can make theories of where it's at, but we don't know where it's at. It's like they want to be, they want to be the ones that, have the last word. They want to be the experts on everything. But I hear a whole lot of times when they will say, well, we don't know. We can theorize. We're not sure. How can we put our trust in someone who's not sure of anything? Like I said, this is going to be some mind-blowing stuff right here. What if I showed you that there was actual records over here in the New World of something happening, that there's something described that is just like what you just read here in Joshua 3? Would that be pretty mind-blowing? Because remember now, the Spanish said when they got here that these people were just running around pretty much butt naked, didn't talk, didn't have anything, were uncivilized, needed them to become civilized. I mean, if you just look at all the the structures that were built, that's not true. I was listening to a video from King Drop, an older video he did. It was discussing how when the Europeans got here, it's like, well, we don't know where they came from. We don't know how long. We know they've been here a long time. We have no idea about their origins, but we can tell they've been here a long time. But it would just be ludicrous or preposterous to think that these people are the 10 lost tribes of the house of Israel. It's like, how can you sit there and say for sure, you don't know anything about them, but you're positive that they can't be from the lost tribes of Israel? Now, when you burn all their records and you burn all their information, then you leave it open to you being able to dictate who these people are. And for hundreds of years, because it's been your time to rule, that's been the case, because the Most High has allowed you to have that opportunity, Gentiles, to run the world, to push your lies, and no one questions you. But now the Most High is awakening his men to bring the nation back into knowledge and understanding of our great power and the things that he's done for us and the things that he will soon do for us again. We know that eventually the Ark of the Covenant is going to be put back into the hands of his chosen people. Let's continue. This is from the Florentine Codex, page 52, book 8. Now, maybe some people can have some more information, more understanding, and maybe they want to add some things into the comment board, about this information right here, about the Ark of the Covenant and how it was used. There's a lot of very well-read subscribers that I know have a lot of information on this topic. And that would be a great benefit to all of us if you would add some more information in the comment section. Now, they just got different names, but look at the things that they were doing, okay? Page 52, Florentine Codex, book 8. The lords of the sun, it was said, took charge and directed in war. All the priests, the keepers of the gods, took the lead. They bore their gods upon their backs, and by the space of one day marched ahead of all the brave warriors and seasoned warriors. These also marched one day ahead of all the warriors into Tenochtitlan. Again, these marched one day ahead of all the warriors of Tlilco. These also marched one day ahead of all the men of Alculquan, who likewise marched one day ahead of all the Tapaneca, who similarly marched one day ahead of the men of Iltopec, and these also marched one day ahead of all the so-called Quata. In like manner, the men of other cities were deposed. They followed the road slowly and carefully. So these priests were carrying something one day ahead of these people, and they were destroying the other nations, or the other people that were there. Do you really believe that this was a coincidence? Now that we are for sure, we know that the 10 tribes were here. Now we know that one of the tribes was the Levite priests. Now we're hearing accounts of them carrying something, their gods, which would be like us carrying, our power, things that signified him, and the Ark of the Covenant, and not going one day ahead of us and announcing our power to everyone, and no other armies being able to stand against these people. This is in the Florentine Codex. This is an account from the natives' own mouth of the things that were going on there. And I'm going to be bringing out a lot more because there's a whole lot more information. I just wanted to bring this section out today. Let me continue a little bit more, okay? Because this is just a very small little bit of information. But it was so mind-blowing that I wanted to make sure I shared it today. And when the warlike lands were reached, the brave warrior generals and commanding generals then showed the others the way and arranged them in order. No one might break ranks or crowd in among the others. They would then and there slay or beat whoever would bring confusion or crowd in among the others. All the warriors were extended there until the moment that Yakutsul, god of the night, would descend. The darkness would fall. And when they already were to rise against the city to destroy it, first was awaited tensely the moment when fire flared up, when the priests brought forth new fire, and for the blowing of shell trumpets, when the priests blew them. Come on now. That's not Israel right there? Blowing trumpets, carrying their gods, and a day ahead of them? You think this is all just a coincidence? Nah. You're seeing the Most High now restoring the knowledge and understanding of who was really here. We could read a little bit more. And when the fire flared up, then as one arose all the warriors. War cries were raised. There was fighting. They shot fiery arrows into the temples. And when they first took a captive, one fated to die. Forthwith they slew him. there before the gods. They slashed his breast open with a flint knife. I'll read more of this later. Main point. Go back over here to page 52. I'm going to read that first part one more time. The lords of the sun, it was said, took charge and directed and war. All the priests, the keepers of the gods, took the lead. Right? Same thing, Levites, the ones that had their special relationship with the Most High, carried the Ark of the Covenant one day in front of the warriors before they went to go fight. Anyone, with this Ark of the Covenant in front of them was invincible. And the other nations know it. And they still know it, even to this day. That's why this has been the best secret that has been, that has been held for hundreds and hundreds of years. And now the Most High is moving swiftly to break these lies down to absolutely nothing. All the priests, the keepers of the gods, took the lead. They bore their gods upon their backs, and by the space of one day marched ahead of all the brave warriors and the seasoned warriors. These also marched one day ahead of all the warriors of Tenochtitlan. I mean, this is not a coincidence that the priests are carrying this ark one day ahead of all these warriors. And they're just destroying everything in their path. And I got this right here because, we got the whole thing with 2,000 cubits. The exact value of a Sabbath day's walk is 2,000 cubits. And that's actually talked about in the scriptures as well, about the whole 2,000 cubits. I think I read that. Let me make sure. Hold on. If you look at the bottom, it says, on that day, Rabbi Akiva expounded the verse, Numbers 35:5. You shall measure outside the city on the eastern outskirts 2,000 cubits, Numbers 35:5. And another verse says, Numbers 35:4. From the wall of the city and outward, 1,000 cubits around. 1,000 cubits is for the open land, and 2,000 cubits is the Sabbath border. The distance one can travel from the city on Sabbath. So that's your 1 day of travel. That's your 1 day behind with that certain distance. I'm just trying to check because I'm trying to look for some information here about the cubits. I won't get into all that right now. So, yeah, it was Joshua 3:4. Yet there shall be a space between you and it, about 2,000 cubits by measure. So the armies had to be pretty much a Sabbath day's walk behind. You think all this is a coincidence? You think the Most High is not moving rapidly right now? The Most High is now showing you the truth. He's showing you that there is so much more than just knowing who we are. I'm not even wasting my time with people still talking about Africa when you got all this information right here in front of your face and no one's even talking about it. No one's even trying to refute it because it can't be refuted. There's too much evidence now coming out showing that this is our land, our people were here, and now you have even more information showing you that these people, you have priests here carrying an ark or carrying something a day ahead of the army, and the army was destroying everything in its path. So keep on saying, this isn't our land, this isn't our land. The Most High is leaving you in the dust. The Most High is showing you exactly the men you need to be following at this point. There's no question anymore who the Most High is dealing with and who he's not dealing with. Florentine Codex, Book 8. There's so much more in here. I'm just bringing you a little bit of it before I really start to get into this even more. You see the Most High moving now. You see how he's bringing us back. This was a whole part of that Baruch and bringing us back. First, it's, understanding who we are, understanding what our fathers did, asking for forgiveness. And now he's bringing us back into our land mentally to the understanding of what was going on here, what we were doing here. See, they were acting like they don't know where it was. They didn't know where they don't know where the Ark of the Covenant was. They knew it was over here. It wasn't there anymore. Most of the Levite priests, many of the Levite priests left and came over here as well. That's why it's the 10 lost tribes of Israel. One of those tribes would have been the Levites. All of a sudden, the Ark disappeared from over in the Middle East with the Southern Kingdom. And now all of a sudden, now we look at the Florentine Codex and you're seeing, them practicing these exact same things over here that they were practicing over there with the Southern Kingdom when the 12 tribes were together. Now they're practicing those same events, those same things that they had to do over there. They're doing the same thing over here. And there's a whole lot more coming. So brethren, pray for one another. Pray that the Most High continues to move and give us more knowledge and understanding. I pray that everyone still continues to support the brethren who are bringing out this truth. Elder Al Yule is doing marvelous work. Gurimio is doing awesome work. Drops is doing great work. UBTV is doing great work. So the Most High is moving. He's bringing this truth out right now. So there's no stopping this anymore. So if anything, it's going to accelerate now, even more so. And the Most High is drawing these lines right now. Who are you with? Are you with the Most High? Or are you with that abominable church? You with full disclosure of the Most High's chosen people and their inheritance? Or are you with the people who are still trying to keep all this stuff a secret in order for them to continue to, steal our inheritance, steal our birthright? You choose. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.